Hey guys, happy Monday. 4 a coming to you live at 4 a.m. I was looking, I'm like, whose house is it light at? I always forget that it's East Coast, other places. I'm like, what, why is it so light there? Because it is still pitch black at my house. Like we don't see a glimmer of any kind of light till about 5:15-ish. So I still got another hour before. So it still looks like it's nighttime. I mean, but I guess it is nighttime at 4 a.m. Welcome you guys. Welcome to the morning Zoom. If you guys are new, let us know in the chat. Definitely want to know if you're joining us for the first time in the morning. We do the Zooms every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's the same link and the same time. So make sure you save it in your phone and invite your peeps. Get them on. I've kind of been going through a preaching session lately where I'm like, dude, our Zoom should be growing. I mean, technically, if our teams are growing, then the Zoom should be growing. But what tends to happen is we kind of worry about ourselves and we're not worrying about other people and we're not kind of cluing people into the Zoom. So make sure you're letting people know we have this Zoom. And for a lot of people, mornings might be the only time they can plug in because they just have weird schedules. So don't forget to let them know what's going on. Also, first time attending. Yay! I love seeing that. Awesome. 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 Um, so if you are attending for the first time, I see a lot of old faces, so I know we have a lot of regulars on our morning show. You all already know, but for the new people that don't know, we always start out our day with gratitude. Whether you have a gratitude journal or you just want to grab a pen and a piece of paper or a notebook or whatever you got. But right now is the time where we take the next couple minutes just to write down 5 to 7 things that happened over the last 24 hours, 48 hours. If you've slacked over the weekend and didn't do your gratitude journal, something good that happened over the weekend, 5 to 7 things that, you're grateful for in your life that you know, that aren't the same every day, right? Because sometimes I've seen people do gratitude and it's the same stuff every day. And I'm like, no, dig deeper than that because different things happen to us all the time. And so we want to be able to pull and dig deeper. And one of the reasons why we start our day out with gratitude is because it's been proven that if you start your day out with gratitude, your day goes better. It puts you in a better frame of mind, better mindset. It also gets you going in a happier place, right? Because you're forced to kind of think about those things that um you are grateful for, even when times suck and times are rough and things aren't going our way. To have to sit down every morning and think about those 5 to 7 things that we're grateful for, it really brings things back into perspective. Kind of like, okay, look, things are shitty right now, but I still have things in my life that I am so grateful for. And some of those things that we're grateful for are sometimes the things that aren't so great. Sometimes we're like, wow, that was, I'm so happy that I'm even here to, I was just complaining about my dogs, but it's one of the things that I'm grateful for, right? You know what I mean? We complain about our kids sometimes, our spouses, friends, our jobs, but sometimes it's the very thing that we are so stinking grateful for. So hopefully while I've been kind of chatting away and you guys have been, taking a minute to think about some of those things, get them jotted down. And if you're just starting to do gratitude, go to Amazon.com and get a gratitude journal. It's the best way to stay consistent with your gratitude because if you have an actual book for it, something that you can sit on your nightstand or, put in your nightstand drawer and then have that exact same routine. Because what I've learned over the last 11 years is in this industry in network marketing and now just in life, it's all about routines. Whether you're trying to lose some weight, whether you're trying to, you know, create better habits for yourself, management skills, time management, or whether it's your business and you're trying to grow, it is all about creating habits and being consistent. And so, one of the other things that having that gratitude journal does for you is it kind of keeps you proving to yourself, I can do something, I can stick to something, and I can get consistent with something, and start my days off right. So if you do not have one, definitely make sure you get one. And then, of course, we actually have that as one of our gifts that you can choose on the morning show. If you're picked as a winner, you can choose that as your gift if you do not have one. But they're pretty reasonable, you guys. You can get paperback ones on Amazon for like $5. Like they're super. And what I like about them is they ask you a couple more questions, like they'll have you write out your gratitude, but they go get a little bit more in depth. And the 5 minute journal is the one I've always used. And what I like about that one is that you take 5 minutes in the morning and then 5 minutes at night to kind of go over your day. And I've kind of been doing that and had that routine now for, man, almost 4 years. So, yeah, it's a good one. It's called the 5 minute journal. It's my particular favorite one, but like I said, there's tons and they're all pretty much the same, just kind of a little bit different. They tweak it a little bit different, but you can get those on Amazon, super, super cheap. So we are heading into, I love June because it's like I think it's a 5 paycheck month for us. So I get excited. Tuesdays never get old. I'm like, oh my God, it's Tuesday again. When you get paid every Tuesday, it's like, holy crap, it's Tuesday again. But it's June 21st already. I am blown. I cannot be the only one who feels like this is the fastest year they've ever had. Like, I don't know what it is. And I don't know if it's because last year kind of drug and last year was so crappy because of COVID. And now we're a lot of people are getting more back to normal and stuff. But oh my gosh, I feel like it was just January. I feel like we were sitting here just talking about our new year and what was going to happen. And now here we are and it's June 21st. And I'm like, what the heck just happened to this year? And we only have 6 months left in the year. It's like, holy crap. Like, am I on track? Like, have I done the things I wanted to do? And the answer is absolutely not. Like, I am not on track at all. I kind of had a vision, and I think we all we preach that in the beginning of January, especially when you're in an industry like network marketing. We preach, write out your goals and make a dream board. And then where do you want to be in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months? Where do you want to be by the end of next year? And what I would ask myself, you guys, since we are 6 months into the year, is are you where you wanted to be or thought you would be in your business as of June? Have you hit those goals that you set for yourself? And if you were in this business in January and did not set any goals, okay, you should have. And this is why it's so important, because we have to have markers in our business to kind of see, where are we? What do we need to catch up? Maybe we're ahead of schedule. Maybe we're doing a little bit better than we planned on doing. Or maybe we need to put our foot in the gas because we've really slacked. So at this time this month, I wanted to mention on today's Zoom that really it's now, you guys, that you need to be looking at, okay, am I where I wanted to be by June? And if the answer to that is no, it's okay, what are things that I didn't do? It's kind of get that realness and look in the mirror time and say, okay, what didn't I do? And then sometimes it's just life happened. Life could have happened to some of you, where you had a plan, you were on course, and then all of a sudden life threw a wrench in things. Like maybe you got COVID, or maybe somebody in your family got sick, or maybe you went through a divorce, or I'm just talking about the things, something happened with one of your kids. Like, we all have goals, right? We all kind of know where we want to go, but then life happens and we have no determination on the things that life's going to throw at us. Like, you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. So what's was so important in going back to the gratitude journal is being consistent with something like that, and then other things in your life. So even when things happen, like no matter what's going on in your life, especially when things are really shitty, when life throws something your way that you weren't expecting, that is so important that you stay consistent with something like a gratitude journal, and then other things in your life you need to stay consistent with, because it keeps you on course, but it reminds you. That's the exact reason why gratitude journal is so amazing, because it reminds you on those days when life throws those curveballs, of why, you still breathe the air you breathe, and you live the life you're living, right? There's still things to be grateful for in that. But uh, what I want you to really be thinking about business wise with Lavelle right now is I want you to be thinking about, okay, what do I need to do now to get back on track if I'm not on track? And if I'm ahead of schedule, oh my God, that's awesome. Okay, so let's reset some goals. Like, let's say that you were kind of like, okay, by summer, I want to be a 4K, but let's say you went 12K. Oh my God, awesome. So your end goal for the end of the year might have been 12K. Well, now you can adjust that and go, you know what? Maybe I want to aim for 40. Like June is that month that you need to readjust, realign, get yourself back in it. Or if you're ahead of the game, figure out what new goals you need to set, where you need to start pushing yourself to get to that next level if you're ahead of schedule. So really take that time to kind of sit down. I would do it this week. Don't wait before the end of June. You want to really sit down and go, okay, what is my game plan for July, August, September, October, November, December? What is that going to look like? What are some things I want to commit to doing? Some things I want to change? And that's going to bring me into my topic in a minute for today. But, what are some things that I want to work on, change, and do? And okay, so you guys, there's this book. It's called the 80/20. It's called 80/20 Your Life, how to get more done with less effort and change your life in the process. And right now is a good time to talk about the 80/20 rule. Yeah, I have to, yeah. First of all, I'm literally just going to read this out of the book so you can understand what it is. Um, what is the 80/20 rule and how will it improve your life? So this isn't just for business. I'm talking about all aspects of life, but it says the 80/20 rule, also known as the it's Pareto principle, was the brainchild of a guy named Vilfredo Pareto, an Italian economist. In 1896, he noted that 80% of the property and wealth in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. No one is surprised by this notion today, but it was a pretty huge proclamation back at that time. Pareto didn't stop with property and wealth distribution. He later showed the 80/20 rule could be applied to other phenomenon. For example, he noted that 20% of the pea pods in his garden produced 80% of the peas. This discovery was later um, extrapolated by Pareto and others to demonstrate the veracity of the 80/20 rule in science, sports, economics, software, and software development. Today, the 80/20 rule is typically discussed in the context of business and workplace productivity, where we're going to take a different approach. We're going to apply the simple life-changing concept to every aspect of your daily experience. You'll find the 80/20 rule is powerful. It was a powerful tool that you can use to achieve maximum satisfaction from your career, home life, and relationships. It can have an enormous impact on your diet, physical fitness, finances, and education. It can propel your small business to remarkable success in a surprisingly short time frame. In short, I'm going to show you how to use the 80/20 rule to optimize every area of your life. Okay, so the reason I wanted to read that beginning of the part of the book is because I wanted you to kind of understand the concept of the 80/20 rule. I learned about the 80/20 rule in my business about 6 years ago. And when it says that it can change your business, it changed my business. It changed my business. So I want to talk about a couple things today that the 80/20 rule can do for you. I want to talk, here's one more thing I wanted to read. It says what the 80/20 rule isn't. This isn't about implementing a system. We're not trying to squeeze your life into a formula. Rather, this is about cultivating a forward-thinking mindset, one that recognizes the tremendous value in focusing on items that matter and ignoring the rest. Okay, I want to talk about that for a second. The problem, what it was such an eye opener when somebody told me about the 80/20 rule. And actually, I read a completely different book. This 80/20 rule, this 80/20 Your Life, How to Get More Done with Less Effort by Damon Zahar. It's Damon Zahariades. Damon Zaharades or something. No idea, but worst names ever. But I had read another book on the 80/20 rule about maybe 6 years ago. And I was like, oh my God, this just brought so much clarity into my business, because basically the 80/20 rule states that if you can be spending 80% of your time into the right things, you're going to grow whatever you want to do, whether that's diet and exercise, whether that is being more organized, or whether that's has to do with your business or your home life or your marriage or whatever. 80/20 rule can fit into all aspects of it. But what it talks about is, for me, what it opened my eyes to was how much time I was spending. I was spending most of my time, 80% of my time, on things that weren't going to grow my business. I thought they were, but when I really looked at it, I was spending all my time with the wrong people, in the wrong places, doing the wrong things. And so when I adopted this rule into my business, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, everything started just to become so clear. I was like, okay, this is like, okay, I get this. The name of the game is leverage. So this Pareto principle is about leverage. This leverage is going to allow you guys to do small things that can literally transform your life. Um, think of the many ways that we use leverage today. Like, we use a bottle opener to remove like metal bottle caps, or hammers to remove nails, right? We car jacks to lift our vehicles, like when we need to change a tire, scissors, which is like two levers that cut a piece of paper, right? Eh, like, we've thought about all these ways to save time, where people used to have to do things a completely different way, right? It would take a lot longer. So what basically the 80/20 rule is teaching you how to leverage, kind of like people have created tools over time to save, over time, to save us time. It's about creating time and leverage for your lifestyle. um so I wanted to go to this one part, which is really, really good. Hold on, let me find it. So this particular part talks about, I'm going to go to the actual part where he talks about streamline your job, how to streamline your actual job. Now, this might make sense to you guys, because there's so many people that will message me saying, Lisa, I'm networking all the time. I'm in Facebook groups. I'm in, I'm out and about, I'm going through my lists. I've created a hundreds list. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm adding new people to my network. I'm adding new people on social media. I'm using hashtags. But at the end of the day, I'm not really signing anyone, or I'm signing people, but they're not working. Or you just feel like no one that you're actually friend requesting and building relationships is interested in Lavelle. So basically, network with people who can help you. Okay. That's part of the 80/20 rule, is making sure that you're putting 80% of your effort into the 80% of people that are actually going to want, into the 20% of the people that are actually going to work the business and want Lavelle, that are actually going to catapult you forward. So basically, this book is saying it's wise to connect with everyone, because it's unwise to connect with everyone, because doing that, it's usually going to be a waste of valuable time. I mean, sure, there's a chance that your second cousin's friend has an acquaintance that is open-minded and wants to know more about more about Lavelle, right? But these prospects rarely pan out, right? You're better off using the 80/20 rule when you network. So first, when you attend a networking event, or if you get into a Facebook page, you want to focus on the 20% of individuals are able to help you. Nurture those relationships. The second thing it says is, spend only 20% of your time talking about yourself. Spend 80% of your time listening to others. You'll make a better impression. You guys, this 80/20 rule applies to everything, even the amount of words coming out of your mouth versus someone else's. So when you have a conversation with any prospect, 80% of the sentences, the words, the things being spoken should be coming out of that prospect's mouth. 20% from you, 80% from them. So if you go look at messages you've had in the past with prospects, go look at those messages and kind of go, oh my God, I'm the only one doing the talking. Like, I don't shut up. I'm not even let this person get in a word in edgewise. The only way for a person to really feel like you are building the relationship with them is if they're doing most of the talking. Think about that. Because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like somebody's really getting to know me when I'm answering a bunch of questions, when I get to talk about my life, when it feels like they're truly listening, right? That's when I feel like, oh my gosh, this person does care about me. This person does want to build a relationship because it's not all about them. So the 80-20 rule applies to so many areas of everything, but ask yourself, are you prospecting up? Chas talks about that all the time. Are you prospecting up? So when you're in these Facebook groups, click on people's pages. How many friends do they have? When they make a post on Facebook, is their Facebook page public? When they make a Facebook post, is there lots of people that comment under it? Just be interact with that person. That's a person you should be putting your time into. But instead, what we're doing is adding 100 people this week, and we're spreading our time amongst those 100 people when only 20% of those 100 people are actually ever going to be interested in our business, but we're never going to get anywhere with them because we're spreading ourselves so thin. Does this make sense? So if we could be spending, now if we can really get more in tune with who we're adding and really spending special time with those people and making sure that 80% of our time is going into the 20% of people that we truly believe could afford Thrive, or we truly believe would be interested in a health product, or we truly believe would be good at this kind of business in the long run. But instead, what network marketing teaches a lot of people, and it's wrong. And if you've ever heard this, you were taught wrong. It's all about the masses. Okay, we've all heard that. It's a numbers game. The more people you add, the luckier you're going to get. No, that is not true, you guys, because if you are adding 100 people and spreading yourself so thin that you cannot properly build a relationship with any of them, you're never going to get anywhere. I talked to somebody the other day and I was explaining to them, look, girlfriend, you can add 500 people a day and you're never going to get anywhere unless you're building relationships. And that's impossible to build relationships with 500 new people a day, not properly. So think about the 80-20 rule when you are recruiting, right? It's not about the quantity of people you're recruiting. It's about the quality, not about the quantity, about the quality. So it's about adding quality people and then spending your time building the relationships with those people. And then don't forget, the 80-20 rule applies to you listening and them talking. Make sure you're doing 80% of the listening. They're doing 80% of the talking, right? They can talk 80% of the time. You're talking 20. Like these are little teeny tricks and tips that matter, and little things that can make the biggest impact on your business. Plus, you're going to save time because now instead of spinning your wheels and sitting there trying to figure out, okay, who am I going to talk to today? No, you've got an infinite list of people that you believe would make Lavelle brand promoters, that you would believe would need this product and need to be a customer at some point. Like you have to work in the right network. The third thing it talks about is invert the 80-20 rule when following up with new people you've met. Spend the majority of your time following up with a small number of high valued contacts, right? So many of us, how many of you guys have, let's be real, how many of you guys have messaged one of your uplines saying, how do I get this person to join me? How many of you have sent a message like that? Lisa, I've been talking to this girl for 3 months and she just won't join me. What can I do? Move on. You're spending 100% of your time worrying about someone that's not ready to join you guys. So what you've got to do is move on. So the first thing is when you attend networking events, focus on the 20% of individuals you know are able to help you. They're either going to be interested in Lavelle in one way, shape, or form. The second thing is spend 20% of your time talking about yourself, 80% of your time listening to others. And then the third thing is invert the 80-20 rule. When following up with new people you've met, spend the majority of your time following up with the small number of high value contacts. So wouldn't those high value contacts also be customers already ordering? See, what a lot of you guys are doing is you're signing up new customers and you are literally forgetting about them. You're going, oh, they signed. I'm so happy. On to the next. You're so worried about that numbers game you're playing and adding new people and building new relationships. You're forgetting about what you already have. And we already know the 80/20 rule states that our money, our business is going to grow from 20% of the people. Well, guess who 20% of those people are? The ones already ordering, keeping those people. So you should be spending 80% of your time with the people already in this business, right? You should be spending time with the customers, making sure that you are following up, sending little gifts and birthday cards and updates and following up. Like those things truly, truly matter and are going to make the biggest difference. You want to keep your customers because it's going to be the 20% of people that you actually pull into this business. They're going to be the ones that help grow your business. And if we're just signing people and then forgetting they exist, that's not going to cut it, right? Networking can consume all of your time if you allow it to. It will. That being the case, it's worth establishing guidelines, like how you're going to allocate your time. And the Pareto principle offers a kind of a good solution to that. This is how I'm going to be spending my time. And then create a plan with high payoff potential. So one of the things it says is it's tempting to start contacting, prospective customers and promoters right off the bat. After all, they're the ones that can, like grow your business, right? But the truth is you're going to be better served spending a little bit time up front, it kind of creating a plan for yourself. It says, this is a great application of the 80/20 rule by spending 20% of your time carefully laying the groundwork for a successful business. By spreading 20% of your time carefully laying the groundwork for a successful business. What does that mean? Dream boards, investing in yourself, growing yourself. That's going to lead me to part 2 of today, because I'm going to talk about change in a minute here. And then there was one other thing I wanted to point out in this book. Managing and completing your to-do list. So use the 80/20 rule to whip up your current to-do list in shape. Like first limit the number of items on your daily to-do list. If it's to-do list to 7, let's say it was 10, get it to 7. If you can get away with 5, do 5. It's okay to maintain a brain dump list. But your daily to-do list is something entirely different. Okay, so when you're creating, this is what I need to get done today, 80/20 rule is going to apply. So let's talk about that for a second. The 80/20 rule is going to help basically make your job a lot easier. Because if you guys make a list of things I need to do today, on that list is going to be a whole shit ton of stuff. But really, which one of those things are going to produce income? Okay, so that's the first thing you ask yourself. Cross off anything that's not going to create income. Okay, now the second part of that is, okay, now that I've dwindled it down to the things that are going to create income, what are the things that are going to create me the most income? Because it's actually doing just a couple of the same things over and over and over again that can build your success in network marketing. I mean, I've watched people get good at one or 2 things, and that's what builds them all the way to 200K. So it's kind of figuring out what those things are and then putting the majority of your time into those things. Use the 80/20 rule to whip up your current to-do list into shape. Include high value tasks on your daily list. 80% of the tasks you'll be tempted to put on your list won't contribute to your goals. Focus on the 20% that will. So when you make a list, a lot of times it's do laundry, you make dinner, these are the things, go to the doctor. Okay, there's things that you have to do, right? But there's things that, okay, it could hold off, or that could wait longer, or I could do it this time, or I could make sure someone else does it. One of the other ways somebody told me to use the 80/20 rule was, do you need to hire an assistant? And they said, absolutely. They were like, if you know, okay, allocate your time. How much do you get paid an hour? So for some of you on here, it would make sense to get somebody to do the things in your life that you don't want to do. For instance, have somebody come in and clean your house, do the laundry, the dishes, whatever. How much would that cost hourly? Now break down what you make an hour with Lavelle. Okay, what was your weekly paycheck? How much time did you actually put in? What are you making an hour? If you're making more an hour than it's going to cost you to pay somebody to come in and do that, and now you're going to have free that time up to be able to grow your business, that's when I decided to bring in somebody to help me with like housework, because I was like, wait, I could do my laundry today, clean my house, do the dishes, or I can make $350 an hour. And that was back then. Like, I make way more now, but that was where I was in my life, where I was like, this makes no sense. Like, it's the things that stressed me out the most, but they were costing me money, because that's time I could be putting into my business, right? So I was really spending 80% of my time doing things that I could have paid somebody else to do, that I was actually making more money doing it that way, actually making more money doing it that way. Um, and then deciding what projects you want to take on. That's the thing, is we're a lot of yes people on here. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a yes person. I got it. I'll do it. No problem. You can count on me. Everybody knows that. I'm that girl that my whole life I've been the girl that you can count on. And because of that, and I think a lot of people in network marketing have that same personality trait. I think it's kind of what led us to a business like this. We want to help other people. And I've always been that person. But what I was finding was I was taking on so many things from so many people because I never wanted to tell anybody no. But the thing is that you have to use the 80-20 rule in those cases as well, you guys, just in your life, or you'll drive yourself crazy deciding what projects to take on by using the 80-20 rule. You know, uh, Use the 80-20 rule to choose projects that cast you in a favorable light when helping you and avoid becoming overworked. Like, you have to decide, does this make sense for me? Does this make sense for my business? Will this grow my business? Maybe the 80-20 rule is going to apply to something completely different in your life. But you have got to decide those things that are not making sense for you to, what is it serving you? And I'm not saying don't go do something nice for people. No, that's like the whole basis of this business. But the thing is that sometimes we can be a yes person and it's not serving anybody. It's actually people taking advantage of you. It's people taking advantage of you, if anything else. So that's a huge one too. And then, how to identify your most productive. This one is huge. So listen up. 80-20 rule, my business, this helped me so much because I was spending 80% of my time with people that did not work. How many of you guys feel like you spend 80% of your time with the people not working on your team? The complainers, the bitchers, the moaners, the people that only contact you and yell on Tuesdays when they don't, make a good paycheck, but they didn't really work for it. This was a huge eye opener to me because the 80-20 rule states that I should be spending 80% of my time with the 20% of workers on my team. But what happens is the 20% of the workers on my team are pretty self-sufficient, right? Think about it. Like, you're good workers in network marketing, they're pretty self-sufficient. Like, most of the people on this Zoom that I'm looking at, like Brittany Hyder doesn't message me every day asking me where to find something. She goes and finds it herself. Like, these are self-sufficient people on this Zoom right now. It's unfortunate because we have the 20% of people that work their business get on the Zooms. What we need on these Zooms are the 80% that don't plug in. That's who needs to be on them because they're the ones that need to learn this stuff. I mean, for some of you guys, it's kind of like old news sometimes. You probably get bored being on Zooms because you're like, I already know this, but it's because you actually care, you plug in and you're so hungry that you're looking to pick up any little teeny nugget you can. Maybe something different will be said. Maybe I'll say it in a different way. Maybe it'll be heard different. Maybe I'll accept it differently. But you want your business to work so bad, you're willing to get on Zooms that you probably don't even need to be on because you don't want to miss a thing. But really, it's the 80% of the people not working that need to be on these Zooms, right? They're the ones, but that's just not how it goes. And so I remember literally the 80-20 rule. Before the 80-20 rule came into my business, I was letting the people not working dictate what I did. So I'll give you an example. Because there's 4,000 working promoters on this team and only 80 would get on a call, I would cancel the call. I wasn't doing Zooms. I'd go, oh, well, that wasn't working out because people weren't getting on. I was so worried about the ones not showing up that I was kind of punishing the ones that did. Right. I was kind of saying, I'm sorry, but I'm going to punish you because other people won't show up. And I really was running my entire business that way. I didn't realize I was doing it wrong. I thought I was time managing, but really what I was doing was I was hurting the workers. And so once the 80/20 rule was brought into my life, it made me understand that no, 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 no. It doesn't, you know what? Don't care about the 3,599,000 people that didn't show up. Care about the 300 that did, the 200 that did, because they're the ones really building your business anyways. Those are the only ones that matter. So that matter in the long, in the grand scam, in the grand scheme of things. So um it says right here, your promoters and your customers are your greatest assets, but they can also represent your biggest frustrations. Your job is to give them the tools they need to do their jobs while removing roadblocks and inspiring and encouraging and supporting them when necessary. The problem is each promoter customer possesses different skills, harbors different mindsets, and faces different challenges stemming from their personalities, right? Some may even have agendas that conflict with yours. You could literally spend all day managing people with little to show for it. How many of you guys feel like sometimes you spend all day helping people with little to show for it? The 80/20 rule will make your job as in anything, even at work. If y'all are a manager at work, um, whatever, y'all, like this applies to everything you do. I'm talking about your normal job to network marketing to your kids to life. I want you to really think about this, but the 80/20 rule will make your job as a manager easier and simpler. It's a matter of observing your employees and being honest with yourself about their abilities and their I can't read this word. See, yeah, you can be a millionaire and not even know how to read. Predilis. I'm not even going to try. Okay. They just used a big word and I can't say it. Long story short, think about that though. The 80/20 rule will make your job of a manager easier and simpler. It's a matter of observing your employees and being honest with yourself about their abilities. Sometimes people don't want to be 200K. Sometimes they don't want to be 40K. Sometimes all they wanted was some free products, but you're mad at them because they don't show up on Zooms, right? Like it makes so much sense when you put it in the terms of the 80/20 rule. First, as a general rule, 20% of your team members will produce 80% of your team's output. Identify the 20%. These individuals are your hyper performers. So what you guys all need to do is, who are your 20%? Needs to include your customers. Who are those customers that order every single month? They need to be paid special attention to. They need to be on your list every 2 weeks to reach out to, do special things for. Like those are the people you want to keep. You want to keep the 20%. We already know that 80% of the customers we sign will quit after the first month. 80%. 20% will stay. This theory that this guy came up with is true in all aspects of our business, and including customer aspects. So remember that. But second, figure out what motivates your top performers. Pick one or two of the largest influencing factors and deliver them. Okay, this kind of where color personalities come in a little bit. Like, and what your people do and what they're doing well and what do they need, right? So the first thing is figure out the 20% of people that are on your team that are the good performers, that are doing something, that show up. Okay. And for most of you, that's only going to be two or three people. If you're 12K, that might be one or two people, just being honest. Like, look at me. I'm I don't know, $4 million team. I don't even know how many working, where it says active promoters under me, but I do a Zoom and only 100 people show up. Yeah, I don't need all those people to work. It's only going to be, it's honestly less than 20% that got my business to where it is today. So second, figure out what motivates your top performers. Pick one or two of the largest influencing factors and deliver them. Okay, so figure out who your performers are Now, how can you help those performers? What can you do to get those performers motivated, encouraged, inspired, edified? Edify those 20%. Don't sit around edifying people not doing anything. Edify the people that work. And then third, provide additional training to your most productive performers. They're going to drive most of your team's output. Therefore, it makes sense to give them opportunities to broaden their knowledge and expand their skill sets. It was reading this 6 years ago in another book, very similar words that made me understand, oh my gosh, Lisa, wake up. It's not, stop being so upset that there's people that you want this so badly for, but they won't show up. You are so worried about them that you are neglecting and you are not giving everything you could give to the 20% of the people that are actually showing up and working. Like like you guys that are on this Zoom this morning that showed up. It's so powerful, you guys. Remember this, and I promise you, it's so, so, so powerful. The above seem unfair to your low performing team members, right? How many of you feel like it's unfair to people that don't work real hard? After all, we're encouraged to see that all of our team members as equal, right? But the fact is, all team members are not equal. Recognizing those who perform best and rewarding them accordingly, that's what a business is. It helps you to become more of an effective leader who can be, actually relied upon to deliver. And then identify the employees who cause the most problems. Who are the leaders? Who are the people under you, the promoters, the customers that cause the most problems? In the same way that the 20% of your team will be responsible for 80% of your team's productivity, 20% will cause 80% of the problems. This minority will make most of the mistakes, take most of the time they don't show up, submit most of the complaints, and cause most of the issues on your team. Think about that. And it's the truth. So I've got 20% of the people that work the hardest. Then I've got another 20% on my team that cause all the issues. You guys, the same names are in my inbox every week. The same names are in my inbox. So-and-so did this to this person. She said this. Here's a screenshot. She did this. It's the same people. There's only 20% of bad eggs in a team of thousands, right? It's going to happen on every team. There's going to be somebody. Part of being an exceptional leader involves identifying problem employees, problem leaders, problem promoters, problem customers, and getting rid of them. The 80-20 rule can help you achieve that end. First, once you identify your most difficult team members, spend a bit of time documenting the problems you've observed, that you've been told that people have come to you about. These include issues involving performance, discipline, not showing up. Documentation is critical in the event you decide to confront them. I know what's going on my team. I only go to people and confront when I have absolute 1000% exact examples to give and proof of what has happened. Like I dig, I don't just go attack or accuse. I know for sure what's happened. Second, conduct monthly or even weekly performance reviews. You can do this as a leader. These sessions will give you an opportunity to listen to your problem employees complain and provide feedback and coaching, but they'll also give you an insight into the people that are working and what they're looking for and what they need. That's not a bad thing to start implementing with your people, guys. I would say once a month, get with your people, and now's your time to tell me what you like. What do you want to complain about? You got 5 minutes. Okay, let's fix it. Like, where are we moving on from here? And then third, spend 20% of your time with these individuals, listening to their complaints and providing constructive feedback or coaching. Here is another example. You should only be spending 20% of your time listening to complaints, not 80, 20. 80% of your time should be, okay, let's get it. Let's move on. Third, if you decide to kind of cut somebody off, you can absolutely do that from a team. Don't put it off. Don't let the process drag. Instead, just do it. Yeah, here's one thing I've learned. I remember in my last business there was a person, and let me tell you what, they were a cancer, okay? But I would let them get away with so many things because I thought I needed them. I let things slide. I let them talk certain ways to me, to other people. I let them post certain things that I did not like, that what I would never let anyone get away with. But they were a top person in my business. And I thought, if I leave, but if I lose them, what would happen? Right? Well, guess what? I read a book and it told me that you got to cut out cancers, and you wouldn't believe how, if one person is a cancer, how everyone else rises up and thrives when the cancer is gone. And do you know, after I read that book, I cut this person off. This person ended up quitting the business, going to another company. They're no longer in network marketing, by the way. No one followed them, and everyone on their team flourished. All of these people that were stuck were no longer stuck. It's because they didn't have this tyrant leader anymore that was belittling them and making them feel paralyzed. Sometimes you have to cut out cancers. And don't think that because you're in network marketing, I'm not saying that, oh, so and so does something I don't like, I'm going to cut them out. No, that's not how this works. I'm talking about if somebody is doing irreparable damage to others on their team, and they are doing things that are not by the book, and they are definitely doing things without integrity, and also breaking rules, actual compliance rules, and things that are just poison. You absolutely have the right to remove them from team pages and cut them off and say, I'm no longer going to do this. Like, sorry. We've got to cut the snake off at the head. Like, yeah, sometimes that, and for your own sanity, sometimes there's going to be people in this business, that the 20% that are going to distract you from being able to be with those 80% of the people actually doing it, right? Like, you have to make decisions for your personal health, for your personal mindset, for your personal growth, whether someone is good or not good for you. Because guess what? Not everyone is going to be your cup of tea. And if they're not, you know what you say? I know we're not each other's cup of tea. Let's be cordial in public, but working together, I just can't do that right now. So you go ahead, and I'm going to have Lisa help you, or another upline. Hook them up with another upline and set yourself free. Because sometimes for our own sanity, we need to do that, because there are so many of you that I've talked to that your businesses aren't growing because you are so brought down, put down, or worried about someone else that is putting you in that position or bringing you to that place. And you don't have to do that. That's the beauty of network marketing, is there's several uplines. So if you're not meshing, if someone's not your cup of tea and they're not yours, and vice versa, there is more people that can help and support that person, right? It doesn't mean you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you have to cut them out of team pages, and it doesn't mean you have to be, a nasty individual. No, it just means we're not clicking. Let's be cordial. Let's be businesslike, as though you worked in an office and had a desk next to somebody. You would have to just do the right thing, right? But I won't personally be the one guiding you along this path. My upline so and so will be. She's going to kind of take over answering your questions, because let me tell you what, I am a firm believer in accountability partners. I believe each one of you guys on here, if you want to see success in network marketing, you should have an accountability partner. You should have someone in this business that is a sideline, not an upline or a downline, a sideline that you meet in a team page or from another team. You just cannot be an upline or downline, that you can talk to when things aren't going right, that you can vent to, or that you can talk things through and go, what are you doing? That someone that drives you and pushes you. But that accountability partner has got to be somebody that does those things for you. Because if you have two negative people that are accountability partners, and all they do is get on phones and calls and Zooms together and bitch and moan and complain, they're both going to bring each other down. So it's super important that you have the right accountability partner in this kind of business. Someone that's going to lift you up on your bad days, vice versa, and someone that is mostly going to inspire and encourage you to do better. So honestly, you guys, 80/20 rule, I could go through this book, but I just read you a couple of the parts business that have really helped me. But there is 80/20 rule your life. This is called 80/20 you rule your life. So if you are trying to diet, talks about how to do that. It talks to how to implement 80/20 rule of meeting new people. this is such a good chapter for this. I wish I had time to go over all this stuff in here. Um, how to meet new people, 80-20 rule of meeting new people, strengthening bonds you share with good friends, 80-20 rule. I mean, I'm talking like every aspect. Optimize the time you spend with loved ones, 80-20 rule. I mean, that one helped me out a lot too, because I got so overwhelmed with my business, I was neglecting my family. And there has to be a place for you to be able to do both. And you have to know those times that count the most. Like, every night I'm going to eat dinner with my family. I'm going to put my phone away and turn it off. I cannot pick, like, it has to be those little things that make the most impact and matter the most. And there's so many ideas in this book. So again, it's called 80-20 Your Life, How to Get More Done with Less Effort and Change Your Life in the Process, by Damon Zahard. I'm not even going to try to say it. Zahariades. And I'm telling you guys, if you were leaders or readers, you may not be a reader. I'm a reader, but if you are not, like, be a listener, because Audible, listen to books. I mean, they say that when you fall asleep with earbuds in, whatever you're listening to, like, your brain still absorbs those things. And I swear it's so true, because I go to bed, I would say most of my nights I'm going to bed with an Audible in my ear. And that's usually how, when I'm introduced to a book, I will get it on Audible first. I listen to it, and if it really impacts me, that's when I go buy it and actually read it. Because I like to highlight things and I like to pull it out on calls like this. And 80-20 rule, this one was one that was recommended to me that I actually listened to, and I was like, okay, that's good. And then I went and actually bought it. But I'm telling you what, if you want to grow, I didn't even get to get into my second part. I can't believe it's already almost 5 a.m. Okay, so next Monday, I want to talk to you guys about change and how things need to change for you, and some things, uh, and the only way to really see growth is through change. And I have a lot of good notes on that. So I do want to go through that next week for sure, because I didn't get to do it today. But anyways, hope today an 80-20 rule, look it up. You can Google it, grab a couple books. So good. But if you actually implement this rule into your life, I promise you it will change your life, and your business. It will change your business, and you'll really start thinking about the time you're spending and where you're putting it and who you're spending it with and why. For me, when I kind of grasped that rule 6 years ago, what it really brought into perspective is why I wasn't where I wanted to be, because I realized how much time I was wasting in the wrong places. And if I was just centered in on the 20% of everything in my life that was going to create results, how much quicker I was going to get to the next place. And I was stuck at, the reason I found the rule and somebody mentioned it to me is because I was stuck at the rank before the last rank in my last company. So it's called Presidential Diamond. The next rank above that, it would be a 200K. The last rank, it was called Ambassador. I was stuck at Presidential. I hadn't signed a customer or a promoter into my business for over 9 months. 9 full months. No one came into my business. And it was not for lack of trying. I was still doing all the right things. And somebody brought that into my life, and it changed everything. I mean, within 6 months, I went to the next level. I mean, my business, my paycheck changed everything. So, it's not about just going and reading these books and, or getting on a Zoom like this and, oh, that sounds great. It's actually now doing something about it, implementing it. That's where you see actual change. So next Monday's Zoom is going to make sense, because it's going to kind of go with today's, talking about don't resist change and how to change some things in your business so that you can start seeing those results you're looking for. Who is reading us out with the 100 Days to Brave?
I've got it today.
Hey, Tiff, go ahead.
All right, so guys, we are on day 86. What you have should affect where you are. Tell them to go after God, who piles on all the riches we could ever manage, to do good, to be rich and helping others, to be extravagantly generous. If they do that, they'll build a treasury that will last, gaining life that is truly life. That is 1 Timothy 6:18-19. Brave people deny themselves and serve others. Brave people are the ones who take what God's given them and give generously. Friend, Your resources should make an impact wherever you go. Your time, your money, your talents. Serve someone else this week with your hands. Allow the Lord to lead you to those who could use a loving touch and hug them. The people you hug and touch and love this week can be changed because you hugged them and showed them the love of the Christ in a tangible way. Your home should be different because you're in it. You can look around at your family and the walls that hold you and see that place as a mission field. See your home as a place where you can love and you can forgive and you can make a difference. I'll tell you a secret, and if this gets out, I'll know exactly where it came from. I'm a pretty selfish person. Some people on this earth are natural servants. They immediately think of other people first, volunteer whenever possible, and somehow have a smile on their faces for the most of it. If that's you, I congratulate you, and I humbly request that you teach me how to be like you. But that just isn't me. I have to choose to work and focus on caring for other people more than I care about myself, because I want the places I go to be touched by God's love. Your financial resources, however large or small, should be making a difference in this world by furthering God's kingdom. Give, friends. Be brave enough to put yourself, your wants, your money, and your time second place, so that what you have, what God's given you to steward, makes a difference wherever you go. Today's task is be brave. Make a list of the ways that you want to be courageously generous.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tiff. And Kelly Haynes, you're today's winner. So Kelly, get with one of us, myself or Brittany or whoever you're, we can give you like the little flyer and show you what the choices are. And then you can get us your address. So just get with myself or Brittany, or if we don't answer, that probably means we're just not seeing it. It's not in our inbox because you're not our friend on Facebook or something. So just get with your upline and tell them to get with us. But we will make sure we get you a gift out. Thanks, you guys. Amazing morning, Monday. Awesome starting off our day this way. And thanks for hanging out with me. And everybody say this prayer for our friend Chastity Marie, our upline, who is improving every single day. Still keep her in your thoughts and prayers. No messages though. She is, I mean, obviously it gets crazy when people message. So just refrain. I know we all want to message her, but don't. And just keep wishing her well in prayers. And I know that she will definitely be putting something on Facebook herself the minute she is feeling up to it. Thanks again, you guys. Love you. See you guys Wednesday. Same time, same place, same link.